Yes, I'm Alex, and thanks for checking out another video. Today is actually my birthday, so the first person to guess my age, down in the comments, I'll give you a free Skype lesson as a birthday present. To you. Today we're going to be creating some grooves inspired by Gregory Coleman, the drummer for the Winstons and the infamous Amen break. So we're going to imagine that we're like a human sampler and we're just going to chop up the break in loads of different ways to see what we can come up with, just like how people would have cut it up on tape or chucked it into a sampler or now just chop it up on a computer. These grooves are obviously going to work perfect in like a jungle or drum and bass kind of setting, so with that in mind we're going to play them all at 170 BPM, which is pretty speedy, mate. I got a bit carried away and I ended up writing out 8 different examples, including the original Amen break, and I'll play each one along with a backing track that you can download from my Bandcamp page for a price of your choice if you want an extra practice tool. For example 2 on your sheet, we're going to loop round the first 5 eighth notes of the Amen break. So 1 time round you got 5, 2 times round you got 10, 3 times around you got 15. So if we add in 1 extra eighth note, that gives us 16, which equals 2 bars of 4/4. So for that last eighth note, all we're going to do is bring our right stick down to the snare drum, play an accent, and then play a ghost note with the left. Exercise 3 just starts off like the regular Amen break, and then we're going to repeat the phrasing from the and of beat 2 until beat 4. So we just repeat that once, and then to finish off the phrase, I've referenced the original Amen break with an open hi-hat on the and of beat 3, which is a little nod to the crash on the ride cymbal, and then we're going to push our last snare drum over to the and of beat 4. So groove 4, we start off with that snare drum displacement played on the and of beat 4 in the first bar, and then we're just going to repeat our phrasing from the and of beat 2 until the and of beat 4 one time, and then just finish it off with some classic 16th note business. Exercise 5, we're starting straight away with our snare drum, and this phrasing is taken straight from bar 3 of the original Amen break. So you can find the phrase starting on beat 2 of the bar and leading into beat 4 of the bar. So just like one of the previous exercises, we've got 5 eighth notes worth of groove. So we're just going to repeat it 3 times and then crack a last snare drum on the end of the bar to give us 16. Exercise 6 is inspired by the phrasing we just learnt in exercise 5, but it's a little bit more complicated. So we're starting to incorporate these pull-out strokes, which will give you the sticking right, left together. So this groove means that we're playing a lot more notes with our left hand, so just try and stay relaxed and gradually push your tempo up. Let's give it a go. So as anyone who's ever listened to any jungle tunes will know, producers will also manipulate samples to get a bit more creative with them. So that could be anything from like putting them through different plugins, putting delays on them, chopping up the samples and making them start to sound like a drum roll, stretching them out, warping them, whatever it is, but you start to get a lot more different textures this way. So we're going to see if we can recreate that sort of sound by playing 2 buzz strokes on the snare drum on beat 1 and 1 and of the second bar of our phrase. I'm playing these buzz strokes right, left, and then hitting the accent also with my right stick. In my opinion, you can play this a little bit rough and ready and it's probably gonna sound cool because we don't necessarily want perfection, we just want it to have a bit of a vibe. And groove 8, we're going to reapply that same buzz stroke kind of idea, but straight after our backbeat. This is a lot for your left hand to play, so take your time when you're building it up there, but it sounds super sick. Yeah, Gregory. If you do go and learn any of the grooves that we looked at today, or you upload a video, or you're playing along with the backing track, I would love to see it, mate. You can tag me up at DrumHub Tuition. Now, it is my birthday, so I'm going to the pub. I'll see you in the next lesson.